All right. Well, let's think about this. Fred is an early airport person. For me, if I had a noon flight to LaGuardia on a Sunday, I would leave my house no earlier than 10 a.m., right? I'd get to the airport an hour and 25 minutes before that flight left, at the most. Probably leaving after 10.
I lean more towards Fred's point of view, and that's why I head in Ryan's direction in this argument, because...
Hold on, John. I haven't finished the timeline.
All right.
10 a.m. I leave my house.
Right.
The noon flight to LaGuardia is an hour, right?
Yes.
So you're there by 1 p.m.
Yes.
And then what's your next flight? 2 p.m.?
Depends. Some people like the larger turnaround.
Yeah, but let's say it's 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in Maine. It can't be more than an hour flight there, right?
Uh-huh.
Hour and 15, maybe. So let's say you'd be on the ground in Maine by 3:15. It's about the same. It's about the same.
If everything goes according to plan, that's true.
Yes.
If there's no weather problems, if there's no mechanical issues, whatever.
So just did a search. Boston to Bangor, Maine. Delta flight connecting in LaGuardia with an hour and 20-minute layover. It's 4 hours and 20 minutes. That's not including time before the flight you get to the air. You can drive from here to Bangor in 4 hours.
4 hours, Ryan.
4 hours, Hardy.
4 hours?
3 hours and 51 minutes, according to Google Maps.
I have driven to Bar Harbor, and I didn't think that was north of
It's
Bangor.
a long way up there, but...
Bar Harbor is 4.5, 5, something like that. I thought Bangor was north of that.
I'm going to University of Maine on Waze right now.
It's 2 hours north of Portland.
Okay.
3 hours, 37 minutes from right here.
All right. He should have driven.
No question.
I thought it was further. Okay. I thought it was
not further. To mention, like you're taking delays off the table.
Yeah.
Right. I can't imagine there's a lot. What happens when that flight gets canceled? Because those little puddle jumper flights into small little markets get canceled all the time.
Then you take the down Easter. You get on the train and you head home.
That's the nice thing about planning a flight. Then you just get in an Uber and you get up there for $150. 3:37 from right here at this moment.
No, you drive. You absolutely drive.
All right. Well, Fred did that wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where Fred is. I spent my Saturday competing in a golf tournament.
Okay. You kind of teased this off air because you were very excited about it. So let's hear the story.
Just to you guys. All right.
Okay.
Because you both play.
Yeah.
Right. Club championship weekend. I'm playing in the senior division, which is 50 and over. Only 4 qualifiers for the seniors. So you had to qualify the weekend before. Everybody who wanted to play in it had to go out there and play 18 holes, ball in hole, stroke play. They took the 3 lowest scores and last year's winner. Okay?
Okay.
Last year's winner played the highest of the qualifiers. I was second out of the 3 people they chose.
Hey.
I shot an 82.
Okay.
Okay. And then I had to play the guy who shot the 74 to qualify. All right? 2-3 seed. All right?
So this is like a match play event?
Match play event.
Okay.
All right? Semifinal Saturday. Okay? Great. I'll do what I can. This guy I'm playing is a buddy of mine. He's playing well right now, but he's a 4 handicap, and I'm a 10.5. So, but match play, anything can happen, right?
Getting strokes?
No.
Okay, straight up.
Match play is match play, right?
Well,
but you can
have a net match play, but this is
straight up.
This is the not the net division. There's different divisions of club championships. This is you're going to crown the senior club champion and the other club champion. Those are those 2, and then you have the net for this group and you have the net for the senior. So, I tee off, and it's a real tournament. They announce your name on the tee box. Now on the tee, the winner of the 2024 Men's Net Club Championship, Hardy Poole. I'm like, my name is Rob, but that's okay.
They bring over the guy with the lilting voice from the Open Championship.
Robert Poole.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. It's fine. Not nervous. We both hit our tee shots. Whatever. down the right-hand side in the right rough.
Is there a gallery for this?
No, there's a few people on the practice green, but
So they're just announcing your name to
announce it. There's nobody there.
Essentially to make sure that like if you're in the area, like who's next, and it's like, oh, well, I know we're on after these guys because you can't be late, But it's the whole thing. Here are your scorecards. Identify your golf ball. It's a real tournament. All right. We both put it essentially in the same place. We walked down there. We're walking on Saturday. Huge mistake. Huge mistake.
It was warm.
Brutal. Yeah.
I played Saturday morning. It was
awful.
Warm.
Awful. We go to his ball, find it. Can't find my ball. It's lost in plain sight.
Oh, boy.
We cannot find it. Don't know what happened to it. Still don't know. I went out there many hours later looking for it again. I was so pissed off.
Afterwards, you strolled down the first fairway?
I took a cart.
Oh, okay.
So I have to walk back to the first tee while the next group is waiting to tee off. I'm like, sorry, guys, couldn't find my ball. I'm going to tee off again. All right? Pipe went down the middle, make an easy par, which is really a double bogey. I go down one. Then I start pressing right away. I'm like, crap, I'm already one down to a guy who's better than me.
Mm-hmm.
I go down two. We have the third hole. I lose the fourth and the fifth.
Oh, no.
You're down four through
Now
five.
you're starting to think about, like, how is he closing this thing out on the 10th hole?
The sixth. I'm down five after 6 holes.
Please tell me there's a comeback here.
6 over par. I'm 6 over after 6.
Yeah.
And down 5 in match play.
But then you found it. Right? Right? You found it.
Ready for the best good bad ever?
All right.
I play the final 12 holes. 1 under par.
Whoa!
Wow.
I shoot my career low. Any golf course ever. 77. Right? Lose 4 and 3. I still got my dick kicked in.
Well,
this mother effer shoots 72. Now, again, it's match play. So, I only conceded one, 4-footer to him. He conceded, a 4-footer and a 5-footer to me when I was rolling. I'm talking, 3 birdies over that stretch of 12 holes, which I've never had 3 birdies in a round before. I did it inside of those 12. I mean, I'm just going par, birdie, par, bogey, par, birdie, par. I mean, I was out of my mind and still lost as bad as anyone lost in match play over the weekend.
So the big question is the takeaway a positive from your final 12 or a negative from your first 6? Your default is this sucks, so I think it's a negative for you, but what's the answer?
Excellent question, John. I'm going to be Mr. Positive about this.
No,
one.
you're not.
He shot his best round ever.
Doesn't matter. He lost.
If you
know Hardy at all, everything
you
sucks.
Can't do anything about the other guy shooting a 72.
I know, but
you can't do anything.
How about this?
I agree with you,
had I not, let's say we had pushed the first hole,
right,
or I even won the first hole, I think I still would have lost.
Yeah.
I still would have lost because the guy shot 72, and eventually that's going to catch up to you. I may have pushed him to the final hole or, something, but we even played it out in my head. After he closed me out on 15, I said, John, this is a bunch of BS. I'm not going to congratulate you. I shouldn't be down 4 at this point. He said, of course not. I said, let's pretend I'm only down 2 with 3 holes to play. I want 2 holes back. I want the first hole back. I want the second hole back, or the 4th hole back, because I was pressing a little bit to try and get out of the hole. He's like, absolutely. Let's play just a gentleman's match on these last 3 holes.
Okay.
And we tied them all.
All right.
No. He birdied 17. He would have beat me anyway. So.
But the takeaway is positive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Ryan gets it. Gets it.
You know what? When Tiger Woods wins the U.S. Open by 15 strokes.
And
it's like you can't, if you finish in second place, you don't go, hey, what are you going to do?
And so yesterday they played the final match, the finals. The guy who beat me on Saturday won the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Ryan gets it. Don't act like I don't know the way you act 100% of the time, which is, I hate this. This sucks. I can't believe this happened. Don't make me out to be so far out in left field that I'm missing the point altogether. I mean, I've worked with you enough to know that you get angry at everything. So I thought for sure the first 6 holes would have sunk you for the weekend.
I will say I would be beating myself up over those first 6 holes because I'd be thinking about, you know what? Set an all-time mark at 77. Great round. I'd be thinking, I could have just made a couple more pars in there.
Yeah.
Like
Ryan, 77 with 2 doubles.
Wow.
On the first 4
I've been
holes.
there.
That's amazing.
You know, it's nuts. But John Wynn was the winner. There, I said it. Okay. There
All
we
right.
go.
Very good.
Idiot. Squidward. He looks like Squidward.
Like I still think, earlier this year I shot, I think it was an 81, which is best round of my year so far.
Fantastic.
I had a triple and a double.
Yeah, right.
It's like just make bogeys on those holes,
Right.
And I break 80,
Oh, you.
See,
which I've only done once in my life.
that's the mental attitude I was expecting out of the room.
78.
Yeah.
That's real golf.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So let's do this. Find out what happened last night. We're going to have a couple of games that we're going to play this morning. Excellent, fun games. Karen Garegian's going to join us. Tim Britton's going to be on with us. All here this morning on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
This Thursday. Toucher and Hardy, what happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. John Wallach, what happened last night?
Well, as you know, just a quick aside, today is trade deadline day in Major League Baseball. We'll get to all the major deals, and there were a few of them that happened yesterday. But since the Red Sox weren't involved, we will focus on the game they played yesterday evening at Dodger Stadium. Red Sox wrapped up a 3-game series with L.A. Sox entered the game with a record of 5-1 on their road trip, but even more impressively, they were 14-1 in their last 15 road games, which is insane if you think about it. So Emmett Sheehan got the start for L.A. He was somehow not part of the Dodgers' big trade with Detroit for Tarek Skubal on Saturday night. So he was out there. The Red Sox immediately got to work. The red-hot Ceddanne Rafaela was on second, and Wilyer Abreu on first with 2 outs from Masataka Yoshida.
2-2. Into left field, base hit. Rafaela around third with the game's first run, 1-0 Boston. 2 singles and a walk and a run on the board for the Red Sox, who are scalding hot.
That's typical Red Sox Chad Tracy baseball. 2 singles and a walk, and they are ahead. Thanks to NBC Television, Jason Benetti, it was 1-0. Caleb Durbin followed with an RBI single of his own. It was 2-0 Sox quickly. Unfortunately, that lead lasted for exactly an inning.
From first base and through. Pats Contreras into right field. 1-run home. Abreu has a cannon, but he's late. And the Dodgers take the lead. Andy Pages does pay it off, and it's 3-2.
So Andy Pages is like inside-out swing bullet down the right field line with the bases loaded, scores 2, and that capped the 3-run bottom of the second inning. It was 3-2 L.A. Andrew Monasterio, who again is a utility infielder playing every day at shortstop, made a big mistake in the field. He let an easy ground ball get into center field, and L.A. had the lead. So you see both the positive and the negative early from the Red Sox here, but they're down a run.
Okay, so the expectations going into this series, and especially when we looked at it coming out of the All-Star break, were, wow, they've got their work cut out for them right away. I think they had Toronto, they had Tampa, like right away. And it's like if you bothered to play it out, it's like you've got that road trip, you got to take on the Dodgers. So, even before the run, you're looking at it, it's like, well, at some point this is going to have to slow down. And going into this series against the Dodgers over the weekend, like, what's a realistic expectation?
1 out of 3.
Right. It's like that's what most teams would do. That's what most good teams would do. So the fact that they're even scoring runs early on in the game, and they just continued to defy logic at every turn.
It's amazing because Friday night they showed up and won easily, 9-4. And all right, this is what we've become accustomed to all the way through this run of it's 5 weeks now and counting of this amazing run. And it's happened so often. I think Red Sox fans, of which I am one, are becoming used to it, and you shouldn't be, because this is unprecedented. You're not going to see this again for a very long time.
It's unprecedented. It's unsustainable. We're going into the second month of it now.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Well, I mean, yet they sustain.
So the Dodgers...
It's tenable.
Yeah. So the Dodgers scored 3 times in the second inning to take a 3-2 lead. You're like, all right, back to normal. We're back to where it should be. LA had the lead for about 5 minutes.
Cedar Rafaela lays into another one. Deep left field. He's done it again. My goodness, number 4 in 3 days for Rafaela. He is a beast. First pitch swing by Abreu, and he absolutely torments this baseball. 4-3 Boston. The Red Sox keep going back-to-back on the West Coast.
So Cedar Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu in the top of the 3rd inning go back-to-back on consecutive pitches to put the Red Sox ahead. Masataka Yoshida added a solo shot of his own just inside the right field foul pole. And just like that, it's 5-3 Red Sox. 3 homers for the Red Sox on a span of 7 pitches. This is what it's been like for 5 weeks. Unbelievable that they are doing this. Emmett Sheehan is a good pitcher, a very good pitcher, has been for this season, and lo and behold, the Red Sox are winning again.
So obviously the offense has come around to the point now where you say, okay, what is it? Is it the abandonment of the drive line? Is everyone adopting the same philosophy now? Is it Chad Tracy went in there and made sweeping changes, or are they all just feeling it and to the point now where it's like, well, if it's going to be ridiculous, it might as well just continue to be ridiculous.
I don't know how long this ride lasts. I go into every game thinking, all right, things are going to change. They can't possibly do this, and they keep doing it. You know how I know they're on a run of biblical proportions? This guy hit a home run later in the game.
On 2 strikes, fly ball right field. Jarren Duran did change the score. Just like that.
Well, he might not be able to turn around his personal year, but if Boston gets in the playoffs, he could change his life.
Oh, this is the whole thing. Like, the first 3.5, 4 months don't matter. It's, baseball players. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it kind of does matter.
That matters a little bit.
It matters. Lou, I love you, man, but it really does matter with that guy. That homer, it was a landmark homer for Duran because that pushed his batting average over 200 for the season. That also made a season-high 4 homers in 1 game for the Red Sox. It's the first time they've hit 4 homers in a game because, of course they do. They've done just about everything else in the last 5 weeks except turn a triple play. Rookie lefty Jake Bennett allowed 3 runs over 5 2/3 innings of work and left with the 3-run lead. Andy Pages' RBI double in the bottom of the 7th off Tyron Guerrero cut that lead to 6-4. By the way, Tyron Guerrero pitched on Saturday night. I don't know if you saw this. He threw a pitch 103 miles an hour, Tyron Guerrero. He is, like everybody else on this roster, has come out of nowhere to be an incredibly valuable reliever. He pitched the 7th inning, so it's 6-4 now. But, of course, like they had done the entire game, the Red Sox answered back. They scored 2 more in the 8th with Chad Tracy ball. Remember earlier this season, the Red Sox scored 3 runs without the benefit of a hit?
Yeah.
In the 8th inning, hit by pitch, a high chopper by Andrew Monasterio that went for an infield single, sacrifice bunt, 2 wild pitches, 2 runs, 8-4. That's the way the game ended. Sox sweep their 2-time defending World Series champions in their own ballpark. They go 6-1 on the road trip. They've won 28 of 33. And don't look now, fellas, they're only 5 games out of first place and 2.5 behind the Yankees for the top wild card in the American League. They have tonight off. They'll play the White Sox tomorrow night at Fenway Park. It's a little bit of interesting travel plans for the Red Sox. We've seen them struggle with flight travel. We were just talking about possible delays. According to Jarren Duran's Instagram, reposted by Tyler Milliken very early this morning, the Red Sox flight back from L.A., was delayed at least 4 hours. They were supposed to leave at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, but as of 3 a.m. this morning Eastern time, they still had not left L.A. Now, they don't have a game tonight, but I think, based on quick math, they're still in the air. They still haven't gotten here yet.
And I heard this from a team source. They're supposed to have a team building event in Maine, and they're supposed to fly to that also. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen or if they'll end up driving, which seems to be, the wiser choice. But all right, there you go. There's your Red Sox. We have the trade deadline coming up at 6 p.m. today. More on what happened around the league next.
Yes, we have a conspiracy theory from one of our own on this staff, and we will get you caught up on all the trades that happened yesterday.
Two of the least surprising things in sports happened over the last few days. Tony Romo's OUI and Tarek Skubal going to the Dodgers.
We will get to those things when we come back.
All right. All right, more of what happened last night here on a Fredless Monday. Ryan Johnston is in along with me and Wallach. Wallach, what do you got?
Major League Baseball trade deadline is at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. The biggest move of the weekend and probably of this season is the Dodgers' acquisition of Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal from Detroit for 3 minor leaguers late on Saturday night, legit about a half an hour after the Red Sox beat them. This is seen around the league as the rich getting richer again, and wildly unfair for the two-time defending champions to get arguably the best starting pitcher in the majors when fully healthy. Now, there have been a lot of takes over the last 48 hours, but none like the one posed by our friend Tony Maserati. He sees things a little bit differently. This is from his emergency edition of his Breaking Balls podcast. Did you know he had a Breaking Balls podcast?
I did not. It's kind of like a Dave Portnoy emergency press conference type of thing.
Something like that,
Okay.
only Maz is in his living room with his face too close to the camera.
Okay.
Other than that, though, it's perfect.
I'm telling you, I think on some level in MLB, they are doing cartwheels about this. Conspiracy theories, again, collusion, call it whatever you want. I think there's a large majority in owners that are thrilled that the Dodgers got Skubal because they want to prove that they need a salary cap. And let there be no doubt, what the owners are concerned about is the business of baseball. Whoever gets the trophy at the end of the year doesn't concern them as much as all of their ability to be able to cash in. Their collective ability to be able to cash in and be able to control the game more than the players. That's what they want.
So, well, a couple things. First, I think if you're going to do a podcast, the audio has to be just a touch better.
Okay.
Just a little bit better.
All right.
It was an emergency. John.
You know what? I didn't factor that in. You're absolutely right.
You have
Ryan.
sometimes in an emergency, you got to go,
And that could
with
just
whatever
See
conditions
your
are
pitch,
available.
baby. Oh, yeah.
That could just be interference from the emergency broadcast system being activated.
Could be.
We don't even know if that was on Maz's end.
So I put this to you two guys. The return for Skubal was basically panned by everyone. The Dodgers, I think the most they gave up was the 5th best prospect in their organization. Is this a sign of a conspiracy to make sure everyone understands a salary cap is needed? Is the league happy about this deal?
The owners are, yes, I think ultimately happy about this. To your earlier point, they're going to point to this and say, see, we can't have this. You can't have this. You can't have one team that literally has scooped up how many of the last 5 best players that have been available?
5.
Yeah,
They got everyone. Now, Kyle Tucker hasn't exactly worked out for them, but more often than not, there are hits.
So
you know what's even worse? Even if they get a guy like that and he doesn't pan out, it doesn't matter because they're so loaded everywhere else.
Right. In terms of the actual return and what else could anyone do for it, I heard some people in Detroit saying they didn't get enough for a rental. I think it's fine. I think the return is okay for someone who's going to be with you, not guaranteed for very long. So overall, though, I think the league, and when you say the league, if you're talking about the owners,
Yeah.
there's fine. Good. This is Exhibit C in our presentation as to why we need a salary cap.
Yes, but isn't Scooble making like $9 million right now?
For the rest of the year, yes.
So there isn't a team out there that couldn't have afforded him.
Yes, that's very true. And the other part of this is that, the Dodgers didn't give up too much, relatively speaking. There are a lot of teams that could have given that up and paid the $9 million for the rest of the year. They just chose not to. The Dodgers, ultra aggressive, uber aggressive, because they care about winning more than their competition.
Okay, so to that point, Ryan, I think the Dodger, any team that was going to part with anything, for a rental, was going to do so with the belief that they would be able to sign him long term. And most teams, while virtually every other team could afford to pay him, they weren't going to give up anything to get him unless they were able to sign him. Dodgers are one of the few teams out there that's like, yeah, we'll pay him on top of this. And other teams aren't thinking that way.
Yeah, but if you're only giving up the fifth best prospect in your organization and people who are worse than that, then it's not the end of the world if you don't re-sign him. If you're say the Milwaukee Brewers, right, and you have to go through the Dodgers potentially to try to win a World Series this year, paying half a year's salary at $9 million and a few middling prospects out of your organization, that's not a bad deal.
No, but I think their system, though, is deep enough to where they could afford to part with. Not every team can do that. That's where you have to give the Dodgers some credit, is their development. It's they're spending all the money, but they're also developing. If
they have enough ammunition in the minors to make a deal like that,
if not highly coveted players, they got enough of them. They got enough of them to where they can make deals like that, and that's where you have to give them credit beyond just being willing to spend all the money.
You know who has a better farm system than the Dodgers? Tampa Bay.
The Rays.
And Tampa Bay was apparently in on Scooble and somehow got outbid. That's inexcusable. I don't understand. If you're Tampa Bay and you have a farm system just as good as the Dodgers, and the Dodgers didn't give up, relatively speaking, all that much, I don't know how you look yourself in the face if you're Tampa.
Especially in the American League.
Yes.
For
wide open.
Wide open right now. And Tampa should have said, you know what, we do this, and then we become the prohibitive favorites.
All right. There's also added pressure for Craig Breslow, bringing this back closer to home. The two teams that the Red Sox are chasing in the division both made significant trades yesterday. Yankees are banged up, but they got a good left-handed bat. Yesterday, they sent 4 pitchers to the Washington Nationals for Curtis Mead's former teammate, Luis Garcia Jr. He leads the National League in slugging. And Tampa Bay, even though they didn't get Scooble, sent 3 minor leaguers to the Mets for starting pitcher Freddie Peralta. Peralta won 17 games for Milwaukee last year. He was awful with the Mets this year. So Craig Breslow, a huge flop at this time last season, but he did say last week he no longer cared whether or not he won trades as long as he got his team help. If he doesn't make a deal today, in my opinion, what a colossal failure with all the big talk. He needs to get help he needed to get help before all of these moves. And if he and ownership truly believes that this roster needs a boost, which it does, they'll make an impact move. There is a tremendous amount of pressure on Breslow to do at least one thing, if not 2 things. They need another bat because Mead's hurt, and I think they can't lean on Tolle and Bennett for the rest of the season either. They are pushing career highs in innings pitched.
And because of what he said, you just said it. He said last week he wasn't concerned about necessarily winning the deal as much as he was helping the team. Okay, well, you can do that a lot of different ways.
Go prove it.
If you're not concerned about winning deals, you can go out there and get players. That makes it, wow, that takes the handcuffs off. Go ahead. You got until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, unknowingly, he kind of baited his own trap there by saying it. And I would be massively disappointed.
And you could argue it's a double-edged sword for him. If he were to make a bad deal, people would kill him for it. Not with the way this team has played. I would rather
him try and fail spectacularly than kind of dip his toe in and make a panic deal at the last minute like he did last year.
Right.
I would rather him swing and miss.
In the midst of this type of run,
yes.
Even Red Sox fans, even the Fellowship of the Miserable are not. There will be a few, but the chorus of voices that would critique him for making a bad deal. even they'd be like, well, come on. This team deserves something. So go ahead and make the bad deal just to give them some help.
These players can't play any better than what they're playing. And as good as this run is, you're not going to go 28-5 every 33 games for the rest of the season.
So you
they're
say,
going to
John.
need. Well, maybe I'm
They
wrong.
have the best record in baseball since
wrong.
Chad Tracy took over.
I've been wrong.
Why don't you suck it, Wallach?
Every 2 weeks since then. So
They're the
you're
best
right.
team in baseball.
Right now they are.
They are.
Best team ever.
Best team.
Best team ever. Best team ever. All right. Thank you, Wallach. A fantastic game from the minds of Nick Gemelli and Ryan Beaton.
Ooh.
I'm so excited for this. You boys are going to enjoy it. It has to do with something that Nicholas did last week. We'll get to that next here on Toucher and Hardy. Out last week. He went out on a weeknight and braved the perils of being out so late. I believe he was at a venue until 8:30 is what he said. He made it sound like he was out until 11 o'clock, which was, oh, you're out, stayed somewhere until 11. No, he was home by 9:30 and then after around for 90 minutes before he went to bed at 11 o'clock. But it was all for a very good cause because Nicholas went to Monster Jam at Gillette Stadium last week.
Which you swear by.
It is a legit take.
I've never been.
I like it in a like non-hipster, non-ironic way. It's a good show. It really is.
This is a monster truck thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that answers my question that I was going to ask Ryan if he'd ever been to one.
Well, as a Western Mass
Is
guy,
Bigfoot still a thing?
as a Western Mass guy, Ryan, they used to be out in Worcester all the time. I think they still do tractor pulls out there, don't they?
You asking me?
Yeah, you're familiar with that area, aren't you?
Western Mass?
Well, I call it Western Mass. Anything west of the 95.
He lives north. He
I
doesn't
live
west.
I live in Drake.
Oh, I thought you were west.
No, he's north.
Where's Drake?
It's on the New Hampshire border near Lowell.
Oh my.
So you're wrong twice.
Western Mass, same thing.
Anything west of Gloucester is really Western Mass.
Yeah.
Where's Gloucester?
Well, that's on the coast.
Very good. Okay, so we're 1 for 2.
Yeah,
Good. All right,
that's
good.
north.
That's north. Yeah.
What's
That's where 128 ends, by the way.
Oh yeah. Save that for tomorrow. All right. So Nick was out at the Monster Jam, and they got to thinking, Nick and Ryan. There is a real similarity between the names of monster trucks and male enhancement products that you can buy at truck stops. So,
Wow.
monster truck or male enhancement product.
All right.
Very simple game. I will give you the name, and we'll start with an easy one here.
Seems a shame that you're not playing this game.
Oh, no. I would kill this. I would
see.
smash this as a fan of the monster trucks. I have all the trading cards. I have all the collectibles.
All right, very
But
good.
if I were to say El Toro Loco, you would say?
Monster truck.
Absolutely. That is correct. Okay, so I will give you the name, and then you have to tell me if it is the name of a monster truck, not one that necessarily just competed at Gillette Stadium or has competed in the Monster Jam World Finals, which used to take place
World
in Las Vegas.
Finals?
Oh, yeah, that's what got me hooked. I was going to the Monster Jam World Finals in Las Vegas, Sam Boyd Stadium. What a show.
Okay.
The pomp, the circumstance, the patriotism.
That's UNLV, right?
It's
Sam Boyd.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
They do anything other than crush cars?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to clean up this game. You're going to be great.
Oh, yeah. So the Monster Jam is...
John, I'm telling you, there are probably not many things on this earth that I would do I would want to do less than go to a monster truck.
Hold on, you're not even
I
curious?
thought...
not even a little.
Right.
Really? At least I'm curious about it.
Okay. I thought the same thing. And I was doing a remote at Sam Boyd Stadium outside in the parking lot, and they said, "You going to come in?" I said, "No, I'm not going in." They said, "Just come in for a second." I went in. I was hooked. I took my wife and 2 other friends back the next year to see it. And that year, I got to drive one also in the media day, prior to the actual World Championship, the Monster Jam World Finals.
Did your wife and your friends enjoy the...
Loved it. Loved it.
World Finals.
And they used to break it up into two competitions. And Nick, do they still do this where they do
they bring in like Russian trucks?
I was just going to say, they're worried
Brazilian
about
trucks.
the illegal modifications on the Italian car.
It's like the NBA World Champions.
Yeah.
So they do
They do the race first.
race first,
Okay.
and then skills,
Right.
and then it's a freestyle
Right.
during the third.
Yeah. The skills competition.
Skills competition. Like any good all-star event, you'd have to have a skills
Can
competition.
you get back up on two wheels? And
Oh, you pop
rock it there
wheelies
for a
and
while.
stuff. Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
but the race, they just send two trucks out side by side. They make hairpin turns, kind of like toward each other, and then straight away back over a couple of jumps. Whoever crosses the finish line.
So
first.
can you veer into the other lane and knock the guy off and then
No, but there are wrecks, there are turnovers, and once a truck gets flipped over, they send a big piece of machinery out there. They
No
flip
wonder
that
Hardy
thing-
enjoys this.
They flip
bringing
that
out big
thing
pieces
over.
of machinery.
They tow it off to the side, and they're like, are you hurt? Doesn't matter. We got two more. Let's go. They keep it moving. They keep it moving, baby. It's a
Okay.
show.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll give you the name, and then you have to tell me whether it is a monster truck or something that can be bought at a Love's or a Buc-ee's. You know, these aren't,
Buc-ee's?
Yeah, you're not going to find these in the aisle at CVS or Walgreens.
Okay.
These are truck stop male enhancement products. You understand? Okay. We're going to start with Megalodon or Megalodon. Is that the name of a monster truck or is that the name of a male enhancement product?
I go truck on that one.
Megalodon, isn't that like the really huge shark? Didn't Jason Statham star in the movie about a megalodon?
I believe there was a Megalodon movie, yes, the Meg.
The Meg. And I think they made a sequel to that too, if I remember correctly. Okay, so is that a truck or I'll say enhancement?
How about this? You're both right. Megalodon, one of Monster Jam's most famous trucks. Styled after the giant prehistoric ocean shark, complete with giant teeth, fins, and a gray body structure. Also, Megalodon is a dietary supplement capsule using the name of the prehistoric shark to market extreme strength, stamina, and performance boost. Congratulations, you're both.
Is
one
that
for one.
is that an 800 number at 3:30 in the morning on this radio station?
I don't think any of these products have enough marketing money to do
Okay.
commercials.
Very good.
I think this is, like I said, more of a point of purchase. These are cash register purchases you're making. All right. Let's go with Rhino 69.
You see, he's leading us in one direction, and I'm more than willing to take those steps. So I'm going to go for the obvious, Ryan. You answer however you want to. I'm going to say enhancement pill.
No, I would say that would fit right into the monster truck fan base there.
Exactly.
I'm going truck.
Like a 69
Yeah.
Ford pickup, and Ryan, well...
More, please.
No, that's right. That's from the Load Boost commercial. Rhino 69. That is one of the many variants in the widely distributed Rhino brand of over-the-counter pill supplements sold at gas stations and online, marketed for immediate sexual performance.
Wow.
Goes
No
to-
waiting.
Goes to work quick.
Usually only takes me 2 strokes after a nice 69.
All right. I'm 2 for 2, baby.
Intern Cece enjoying her time here this morning on the Touch on Marty program. Hi, Cece.
I forgot she was here.
That's great.
Hey,
That's
you all right?
I feel good about
Why
that.
is your face red? Oh, boy. All right.
Sparkle Smash.
Oh, that's a truck. That's definitely a truck.
Sparkle Smash.
That's a truck. You got to rope in the female viewers, you see. That's a truck.
I disagree.
You're going...
I'm going pill.
Have you ever wanted to give a bit more explosion from your grand finale?
That is, in fact, a monster truck. John Wallach absolutely killing this game. It's a crowd favorite Monster Jam truck. It features a distinct energy unicorn-themed body, complete with a glittery pink coat, blue hair, and a prominent horn.
Yeah, you can't have all guys at this thing. You don't want it to be like a Rush concert. You want the women to show up.
Nicholas, Percentage-wise, how many women at Monster Jam when you were there Thursday night at Gillette Stadium? What was the percentage of women in the crowd?
I say like 25%.
Whoa!
That seems high.
That seems really high. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they're bringing their kids.
No lines for the ladies' room that night.
Yeah, but
Oh, no kidding.
But that seems like something that Dad would take him to, and later on that night, we take the kids to Mommy, who was at her house. Avenger.
Avenger? Oh, that's a tough one. Ryan, you get to go first on
I'm
this
going
one.
pill.
Avenger. I say truck. I like truck.
John Wallach. Avenger is an iconic 1957 Chevy-bodied monster truck created and driven by Jim Kohler and famous for its aggressive, wild freestyle driving style and long history in Monster Jam.
Is he related to the Kohlers of like bathroom fixture fame?
No, there's an E in the middle
Who's
there.
Jim
Could be
Kohler?
Kaler, you know.
Right.
Who's Jim?
Yeah.
I just told you.
It's a Hall of Famer.
He's a wild freestyle driving style and his long history in Monster Jam.
Okay,
Come on.
very good.
All right.
They have a monster truck Hall of Fame.
Oh, and where would
Like a
that
driver
be?
Hall of Fame?
Where would that be located? Which armpit of the country is that located in?
No, it's in Santa Barbara. I think it's in Scottsdale.
Toledo.
It's in Butler, Indiana.
Of course it is.
It was close.
Is it really?
Yeah. The International Monster Truck Museum and Hall of Fame.
Okay,
See,
so
that's where the modification.
Okay, so like I want to know about the international part of this because there's a world championship, there's an internet like how much of this is going on in other countries? Is this like Olympic basketball where the world catches up?
yeah, at some point, and the problem is the Chinese are trying to do all EV monster trucks, and the crowd just doesn't care for it. It's not the same.
It's kind of like the World Baseball Classic where you have the trucks race in Tokyo, and then the winner of that goes stateside, that kind of thing.
Ryan, can you tell me, is the Monster Jam Hall of Fame an actual physical structure?
Well, let's see. They recently moved from Auburn, Indiana, to Butler, and
Tax purposes.
It looks like a giant warehouse with monster trucks inside.
Okay, yeah.
There
Well,
you
it's got to
go.
be a big building.
All right.
International Monster Truck Museum and Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
How close is that to Indianapolis? I mean, is it close to a major city? So I might visit if I get there at some way. I don't know.
Probably not. Actually, I'm looking at the map right now, and there's just giant cornfields around the
No.
structure.
Well, it's home of Butler University.
Butler's just north of Indianapolis.
Well, it's in Butler, Indiana, isn't it?
It's different.
It
I
does
think.
not look that
It's not
close
the
to
same.
Indianapolis. It looks
not
pretty
the
far.
same. No.
All right. Well, I'll look into it. I still believe that it's probably something to do with the mechanical engineering students, and they intern over there at the Monster Truck Hall of Fame. How much is the admission?
Butler University is only 5.5 miles north of Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was telling you, it's right next to it.
How much to get in?
What? How much to get into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. What's the admission?
All right.
Admission prices. Okay.
All right. I want to guess this.
You got to guess.
I want to guess this.
$69.
I can't beat that. That's a good guess.
How much?
$10 for adults, $5 for kids.
It's a fantastic deal.
How can you? That's not sustainable. You got to charge more.
Max load.
What do you think the rent is on that place? It's like
$5.
It's like $50 a month.
I know.
Max load.
Or a tornado knocks it down. Max Love, I'll say pill.
Yeah, that's a pill.
There we go. Now we're back. Max load. That's specifically formulated and marketed to increase climax volume.
Wasn't there a commercial that, like it's a fire hose?
Yes. Intensity and fluid production.
Right.
Because that's what everyone wants. I just want more of that
That's right.
stuff. Silver bullet.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going truck.
I'll go enhancement product.
Truck sounds too much like a truck.
All right, Ryan Johnston. Silver bullet. Is it? Wait a second. You said pill, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is a pill. It is named for the quick-acting results, marketed for stamina and erectile support.
Jeez, that was perfect right up until then.
All right, 2 more just to see if Ryan can tie.
All right.
All right.
Tie? Oh, I'm way ahead. Come on now. Can't tie. I got this thing locked.
Killer bee.
All right, Ryan, you get to go first on this one. I gotta think about this one.
I will go truck. It's like a bee-themed truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say
black and yellow stripes.
I was gonna say truck.
Have you ever wanted to give a bit more explosion from your grand finale?
Yes, Killer Bee is a male enhancement pill to increase endurance, energy, and performance.
It seems there's a common theme among these pills. Seems like they're all kind of promoting the same thing.
Well, Ryan, you can't win, but you can go on a flourish here.
We do like a triple press here, like if you're trailing on the back 9, you can double or triple the bet.
Chubby Chew.
I mean, that's got to be an enhancement product.
There we go, triple press. Chewable male enhancement supplement formulated as a gummy or a chew.
There's so many ways you could have gone with
All right, well done.
On his hands, what he can do. So just finding more chances, intermediate, short, deep, just not shying away from him. I'm not going to shy away from him. That's how I play. I'm going to keep.
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy without Fred this morning, but Ryan Johnston is here and John Wallach is here. And now Karen Garigian is here, Patriots columnist for Mass Live Sports. Pleasure to have you on this morning, Karen. Is Karen on the YouTube here? Or on the Zoom?
Phone.
On the thing? On the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Karen.
Hello, Hardy. How are you?
I was confused for a second. Oh, Karen, hello.
Karen. Hello.
Thought I was going to
Where
see
are you?
Yeah, that's right. Are you up in
How
space?
How am I possibly talking to you?
Is there anybody that matches Rob Gronkowski's? Let's just call it both his joie de vivre and his innocence, in his demeanor on the Patriots right now.
Oh, Karen, hello.
Thank you. Right. Is there anyone that approaches
no.
that level of childlike wonder?
No. He's unique and it's real.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
We found that out. He was a guest of this show's during his rookie season. So we got pure, unfettered Gronk for a while. He was in Buffalo at one point. He told us he went to see the Dave and the Matthews Band.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. So Karen, you've been down at camp every day?
I have, and boy, I'm looking forward to being there today in the pouring rain, although they might go in the bubble. We'll see.
Well, who knows? I mean, but was there a practice on Saturday also?
Yes, there was.
That had to have been miserable.
It was hot.
Yeah.
It was muggy.
What are you seeing so far? What's the biggest standout?
Well, I think Drake May, number one, and how the connection with AJ Brown has kind of progressed from, oh my God, they look awful in the first couple of practices to now they can't miss.
Was it awful at first, or was it just underwhelming? Because I kind of heard both.
Well, it was more like, they just on a bunch of plays just were nowhere near being on the same page. Now, in the early camps, in mini camp, AJ Brown made some plays that left your jaw dropping. And in the early days of training camp, they just didn't seem to be quite in sync. That doesn't mean AJ Brown didn't catch passes, but again, when you're watching him, you're hoping for something special, and it didn't happen early. But now, the last three practices, all padded. It's like now they can't miss, and he even went deep to him on Saturday with a deep ball. And I don't know, A.J. Brown kind of has this flair when he catches the ball, whether he's doing it one-handed or whatever. But I don't think the crowd was disappointed the last couple of days.
I don't know, Karen, if you're aware of this, but people on sports radio, hosts and listeners alike, tend to trend towards the negative when it comes to looking at anything for any of their teams. But having watched and listened to what's been going on at Patriots training camp, it's real tough to find a negative. I mean, I keep hearing about how Caleb Lomu's throwing people around and how the defensive line, Christian Barmore is great in one-on-ones, and there's no one better than A.J. Brown, and Christian Gonzalez is practicing. Is there a negative at all over this first week or so?
Oh, well, of course I can find them, John.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. What is there? What can there possibly be?
Well, they don't have depth in several areas that could be concerning, like edge rusher. We haven't seen Harold Landry, and there's no one has any idea if he will be back or ready or anything. He's been missing with, I think he had knee surgery during the off season, and he's been invisible, and Mike is not giving us any kind of timelines, except to say, well, Gabe Backus is ahead of him, and he sure was, because he was there on Saturday. So, I'm a little concerned there. That's a little concerning. The Christian Gonzalez contract situation is concerning because right now everyone's playing nice. But if he doesn't have a contract at the start of the year, will that continue to be playing? Will he continue to play nice? So, there's just, some areas here and there. The young tight ends, it looks like they'll be able to hold the fort, but still you'd like somebody. If Hunter Henry gets hurt, it's still not the best situation, even with Eli Raridan coming along and Tanner Arkin coming along. So
that was something I was gonna ask you about, because we started talking about Rob Gronkowski, and at the tight end position, that's something that's still if there are question marks in terms of the roster, that's a big one right there.
Yeah, Raridan looks night and day from minicamp. He really does.
Okay.
He didn't look like he had a clue in minicamp, and didn't play with the first string or the second string. And again, he was still looked very much like he was still figuring things out. And, maybe this was just going to be kind of a developmental year for him. But in training camp, he finally looks like he has a clue in terms of the offense. He gets open, and he also catches passes when he's not open. Somebody said he's a big dude, and he is. I haven't gotten a real sense yet for him as a blocker, which will be important. But in terms of, finding space in zones and in terms of getting open against man, he's come on, and since, even with the pads on the last three practices. Tanner Arkin is an undrafted kid, and they like him, and he fits the bill as kind of the blocking tight end. And, they signed Julian Hill for that purpose, only he got hurt during the off season, suffered a season-ending knee injury. So, they had this big hole in the number 2 spot after Hunter Henry. So that's why we're still saying, oh, God, if Hunter gets hurt, they're really in trouble. Yeah. The two kids, Raridan and Arkin, show promise, but mostly show that, they'll be able to handle the assignment as the number 2 or or taking turns as a number 2. Now, again, would you be confident if Hunter Henry went down? That's another question.
All right.
Top pick, Caleb Lomu. All the reports we got, he was tossing people around left and right. Where do you think he will wind up playing at the beginning of the season, and how soon do you think it'll be before he starts taking regular reps with the first team?
Well, I have to jump in and say during one-on-ones, he hasn't been tossing people around.
Okay.
He's been getting beaten pretty regularly, I must say. But, I mean, he's going to be their swing tackle, and he's going to make a push at right tackle, too. But, but more than anything, he's insurance for Morgan Moses. I don't think he will be a starter out of the gate, but you could see him in a starting role as the season wears on, I'd say.
Final thing, Karen, about Christian Gonzalez and his contract. Robert Kraft said something to the effect of, we've offered him the most money and, it was the most this and the most that. Any clarification on that? Any more details? Because, that could mean any number of things.
It's the great mystery, like how much. It's all well and good. You offered him the most, but is any of it guaranteed? Because that's the big deal with players. And how long? What's the length of the contract? So all the nitty gritty details, or the ones that are actually most important to making a player sign, we do not know. So. And since Robert Kraft said that, somebody else jumped up. There was a signing where somebody crept into the top spot. So, I don't know. Bert Breer, my friend, our friend, says it's not close. So, it's just interesting that Gonzalez continues to practice and risk injury.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a head scratcher to me, but
I wouldn't do it either.
Well,
I wouldn't be out there
unless it is closer than what Bert has reported, or there's been some sort of an agreement. I have no idea what it could be, Karen, short of a contract. But I think we're all scratching our heads a little bit, which is fine.
I know. Just to jump in. Mike Vrabel was asked, I believe, by Phil Perry of NBC Sports on Saturday if the Patriots had some kind of a proviso or something, edict, that they won't negotiate with players who aren't participating. And it was interesting that Mike didn't answer yes or no. He just went on some tangent about how Christian is great. But the other thing that was interesting, at least from my perspective, was he talked about how important it was to sign their young players who they've developed, their draft picks. And that really wasn't always the case in the Bill Belichick regime,
right.
For the second contract. It's important to Mike Vrabel to do this. So we'll see. I mean, do I think ultimately it'll get done? Yes. But it's just taken a while.
Okay. Karen Garegian, columnist for Mass Live Sports. Appreciate it. Always good to talk to you, Karen. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you, Karen.
There we go. Yeah, maybe they've got some Seattle-like edict now in place in Foxborough where you can hold out, but the talks are off if you're not on the practice field.
I think Vrabel, of course, asked about that. He was very non-committal. But ultimately, if I'm Christian Gonzalez, I am nowhere near the field if the pads are on. You got too much to lose. You got $120 million to lose. I mean, I'm guessing 4 years and like 125 million would be the contract. But why is he out there? It's just, especially because the Patriots need him as well as he needs the money. So why would you force him to go out there if you're the Patriots?
All right, we'll get the update here from Ryan Johnston. Continue here this morning without Fred on Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
A little over 200, somewhere like that. Because there were a lot of years where Flynn and I were like the regular fill-in. So when the whole show would take a week off, we would do 5 days.
How is Flynn? I haven't talked to him in a while.
I haven't talked to him in forever. I text him every once in a while.
Okay, so you do text occasionally?
Yeah, we'll hear from him. It's like, he's very busy with all of his boys. Like he's got,
Is he coaching football?
Still, he's coaching Hamilton Wenham, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Does he still have that gigantic wooden giraffe in his yard?
I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time.
Interesting. Okay.
So you guys filled in on the morning show. Troop and I also filled in on the morning show.
Really?
Yes. I believe the first year of the Sports Hub.
Okay.
During that Christmas break. Probably took turns with you guys, but I mean, we were in for like a week at a time.
I was probably on headlines for at least some of those shows.
Yeah. And
how did Troop handle the shift?
It was great.
He was a perfect fill-in for.
This is Hardy and Trupiano.
Oh, no.
On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
I don't understand.
Call 617-779-0985. Now, Hardy and Trupiano on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
The I don't understand is perfect. Perfect.
I remember one of those fill-ins, like for the entire week. It was like end of year when there was like a full stop on all payments going out from the company, like CBS Radio at the time. Al Cole from CBS Radio, when CBS Radio was still a thing, and they just, in the middle of December, they say no more checks. Right? Nobody can spend any more money before December 31st, and we came in to do the show and had no TVs. I maybe the internet was still on because that was, like part of the phone, but Troop was beside himself. So he brought in a portable television. You remember the one in Wall Street?
No, he didn't.
Remember the one in Wall Street?
Oh, yeah. He brought that in?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gordon Gekko takes it out at the restaurant. He's like, I just got this for my kid, Rudy. He's 3 years old. He's an electronics freak. Right? It's got a 2-inch screen. Bud Fox says, yeah, I can barely see it. And Troop was like just confounded why he couldn't get a signal on it. I'm like, I don't know that.
You're in a basement, Troop.
Well, number one, you're in a basement. Number two, it's like you're trying to get like an HD feed on that thing. You need a converter 5 times the size of the actual unit there to, pick up that over-the-air signal. So I don't know that that's going to work. And it didn't. So
the glory days.
We just sat in essentially a dark room for a week.
So, Ryan was just saying he texts with Flynn every once in a while. You ever text back and forth with Troop?
I haven't in a while.
No, been a while.
Yeah, but he's teaching. And,
yes. Dean College.
Yeah,
yes.
calling games, I think. So yeah, he's great.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Good.
Yeah. As far as I know.
When was the last time you texted him?
I don't know. It's been a minute. Do we want to do the Burt Breer thing here?
I think that deserves more time than what we have. If I'm being honest.
Okay.
I think we wait until 8:40 or we use it and then not. I would wait.
Okay.
I would wait because it was a whole thing when he was here on Friday.
Let me just share.
Not here, but on the show on
Let
Friday.
me share something quickly here that Ryan Johnston threw into, and I do understand it, but still, it's Zach Brown last night at Fenway gave away something to the crowd. Have you read this, John?
I have not, so let's hear it.
Okay. August 2nd, last night, Fenway Park, the Zach Brown Band announced that each of the 35,000 fans in attendance would receive a free cruise on Margaritaville at Sea. A giveaway valued at over $40 million and described as the largest audience gifting in live entertainment history.
How many people in the crowd actually took him up on that?
Well, we don't know.
That's the question. What percentage?
So every attendee is going to get a complimentary cruise aboard Margaritaville at Sea. They can redeem their cruises on selected Margaritaville at Sea sailings within the next 12 months. And Margaritaville at Sea is the presenting sponsor of their tour.
And each person gets a cruise for 2. Okay, so if you went like Hardy, if you and your wife were there, you would have a cruise for 4 potentially, right? Because each one of you gets to bring a guest.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Now, as with a lot of cruise giveaways, you still have to get yourself to the port.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Margaritaville at Sea does not sail out of Boston.
They sail out of Florida.
Right. So you're going to have to get yourself down there. The question is, would you take Zach Brown up on his offer of a free cruise, Margaritaville at Sea?
No.
I've never been on a cruise.
Neither have I, but
do not really have any thoughts of going on a cruise.
But you would consider it.
If it were free?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to at least consider it.
Okay. Right answer, John. Wrong answer.
No.
You've never been on a cruise, and
Never.
you never would.
No.
This is a free
I
cruise.
I might, but the Margaritaville theme is the turnoff.
What's the problem with Margaritaville?
I don't.
You're
like,
wasting away in Margaritaville.
I don't like Jimmy Buffett music.
You blew
That's
out
the
your
problem.
flip flop when you stepped on a pop top. You cut up your heel and had to cruise on back home. What's wrong with that?
Stop it.
What?
Just stop it.
The cheeseburgers in paradise.
I'm sure it is, but not for me. Nope.
What?
I have no interest in going on a Margaritaville cruise. I'm not turning off cruises altogether. Just this theme, I wouldn't do it.
I hadn't been on a cruise.
Now you put me on the cruise that you went on. I might consider that one.
No, the 90s cruise.
The 90s cruise I might have considered. If it was an 80s cruise, I might have considered it more. But I would not go on a Jimmy Buffett themed ocean liner.
So I saw the photos of the people on board the 80s cruise. You wouldn't think that the crowd would be that much different. It's that much different. It's that much older.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think the 90s music has more fans of a younger age than the people who are going out there to see, I don't know, who was, I don't even know who was on the 80s cruise, but let's call it Thompson twins. You know, it's
Sure.
like,
Right.
You're not going to get a lot of 30s.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Newman.
Right. Actually, Gary Newman was on the 80s cruise.
Of course he was.
And apparently he was fantastic. So I believe I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure they did that one.
I actually have some experience with dealing with crowds like this. My wife and I went to see Duran Duran at Agganis Arena, I want to say 15 years ago.
It's an old crowd.
Well, we were the youngest ones there, and it's nothing sadder than seeing a 65-year-old with a 7 in the Ragged Tiger T-shirt and one glove like Simon Le Bon. It was very depressing, actually.
Kind of hot, though.
He was able to pull him in,
Do a little
Simon.
role playing that
I'm looking at the lineup for the upcoming version of the 80s cruise.
Who do you got?
We got Chaka Khan.
Okay.
We got Night Ranger, Loverboy.
I'm in. Like Loverboy.
You got DMC.
Oh.
DJ Jazzy Jeff, who I saw I saw it perform at halftime of the Eagles 49ers NFC Championship game a few years ago. He was the halftime entertainment in Philadelphia.
All right.
We got the Romantics.
Oh.
Striper. Bob Geldof and the Boomtown Rats.
I'm still in. I like that.
Katrina of Katrina and the Waves. Apparently she and the Waves not on speaking terms anymore.
Too bad.
Yeah, that's hosted by Mark Goodman, Alan Hunter, and Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they're the only surviving. Or where's Martha Quinn?
Downtown Julie Brown was one of the hosts on the 90s cruise, too.
Well, she can do it all.
Well,
she's I don't know what.
And we stay in touch. I've stayed in touch with her more than
you
I
stayed
have
in
with
touch
Soup or-
with Downtown Julie Brown.
It's a big text chain. It's called Bodie Call. There's all the hosts that were on the 90s cruise.
What do you guys talk about?
Just stuff and like the.
What do you have in common to speak of? Other than the fact that you shared a cruise for 10 days.
Most of them are in LA, and they talk about getting together and like going to shows. And but it's like Downtown Julie Brown lives in Italy, so when she's in the States, she'll say, "Hey, let's meet up in New York or meet up in LA." And Zach, the lead singer of Smash Mouth, he's on the text chain. He's talking about where his shows are and what's going on. He's always got fun stories. Yeah, it's good.
And how do you contribute? What do you contribute to the text chain?
I just give a lot of thumbs up.
Okay.
A lot of ha-has.
I'm doing my show in Boston.
Yeah.
You guys are around. Just hit me up. I'll be here.
Exactly. Yeah, no one's
Anyone
coming.
want to play around the golf?
Yeah, no one's coming.
Come on
here.
down to the club.
No one's coming here. Even Smash Mouth, they played in Vermont. They weren't even close.
Vermont?
Yeah. It's a big festival up there.
Nice.
All right. There was an unfortunate incident at a baseball game over the weekend. We will get into that and compare it to other similar incidents next here on Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to Toucher and
Yeah.
I think I'm concussed. And he was. All right. It is Toucher and Hardy with RJ in this morning. Over the weekend, the Women's Pro Baseball League had a game between the Los Angeles Queens and the New York Heights.
Not a game. The first game.
Oh,
this is the debut, I believe, of the women's professional baseball.
And Ryan, shame on me for not requesting the theme song to A League of Their Own, which was written by one of the players of, wasn't were they a Peach? Were they the Peaches?
Rockford Peaches.
The Rockford Peaches.
Yes.
And composed this song, got everyone to sing it. And not only did they sing it while they were members of the All-American Girls Baseball League, but they sang it at their reunion when they opened up their wing in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And it's a delightful song. We got Canadians, Irish ones, and Swedes. We're all for one, we're one for all,
What are
we're
you
all
doing?
American.
How do you remember this?
Because I always like the lyric. We got.
Oh, no.
Hear that call.
This is the reunion version.
So?
It's still good.
Yeah.
For one and all to play ball.
Nice harmonies there.
Of
for an
course.
impromptu
All
sing-along.
ball players can harmonize like this.
The All-American League. We come from
cities
near and far. We've got Canadians, Irish ones, and Swedes. We're all for one, for one, for all, we're all American.
So you think Gina Davis took singing lessons before this movie? Just for that scene?
I don't know, but I always like the ending scene where they had the actors who kind of looked like them, but they had the mannerisms.
Sure.
The woman who played the older version of Kit kind of did the eyes rolling back in the head when she was hugging Gina Davis.
They had the bad guy from Pee-wee's Great Adventure play the
Stillwell
older version.
Angel. Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah, there you go.
Buxton.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a new league and the first game, you're saying?
I believe this was the first game. Yes.
Okay. So to kick off the league, they bring out Martha Reeves, who was the lead singer of Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Dancing in the Street, of course, repopularized by Van Halen. It's listed in the U.S. Library of Congress National Recording Registry. I mean, this is a big deal, Martha Reeves. And they bring her out to sing the national anthem. And they have a couple other people there singing too. I don't know what happened. I don't know how Martha Reeves is feeling these days.
She's 85.
Okay, maybe that's what happened.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
I can't do it.
That isn't a Saturday Night Live skit. That's her.
Yet wait o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That has Anna Gasteyer written all over it.
You heard her rushing it at the end. It's like,
Yeah.
I gotta. Even at 83, she knows it's not good.
Yeah.
But it brought to mind, and a list was created of the worst national anthem performances of all time. It'll be your job, gentlemen, just to guess who is on the list, who made the list, and see if you're correct.
Okay. Very good.
Are you ready, John?
I'm ready.
You want to go first?
Sure. Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr is, of course, On the list, do we even need to hear the Roseanne Barr anthem again? We can hear just a few seconds, I guess.
Now, was not Tom Werner at least partially responsible for that?
Oh, really?
That was, I believe, a Padres game when Tom Werner was involved with the Padres, and he was also one of the producers of Roseanne. I think that's how that ended up happening.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Didn't she grab her crotch and spit to the side after she was done?
She
too?
did a whole bit. Tom Werner, the new managing general partner of the San Diego Padres and executive producer of a TV sitcom, allowed Roseanne to sing the anthem July 25th, 1990.
One of many Tom Werner ideas that have been an absolute home run.
He knows what he's talking
So far, we're 1 for 1. Now, Ryan, do you want... Now, this one was not on the original list, but you wanted to get to one specific.
So I just remembered this, thinking of this, because my guess here would have been Carl Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Lewis is an
Carl
all-time horrific.
That was like NBA playoff
and
game.
it spawned an incredible Charlie Steiner laughing bit for SportsCenter.
But not the one that you thought of.
No, the one I thought of just a few minutes ago, I knew that we were going to do this segment. Mike Flynn and I, this is, I think, what did we figure out? 2014? Is that what this was, Ryan?
Yeah.
So I remember being here on a weekend with Mike Flynn, and I didn't remember the name of the band, but there was a NASCAR race, and the band was billed as the world's most patriotic rock band.
I remember this.
And performed one of the worst versions of the national anthem I've ever heard.
Okay. Madison Rising.
Now here to perform our national anthem, please welcome America's most patriotic rock band, Madison Rising.
Whoa, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so proud?
Fine so far.
Wait till the chorus.
Yeah, the twilight.
Is there a chorus?
There is. Not really. Watch.
Who's brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous.
Still building.
I know. Wait till we're almost there.
Ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming in the rocket track.
Here we go.
The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
You can't write a new song.
No.
You can have your
Pretty
take
hard
on
and
it.
fast as the way this is supposed to go.
All right, they get back into it.
Yeah.
There. All right, very good. There, Madison Rising, absolutely on the list. My favorite. I don't even think it was bad. I just remember it when Aretha Franklin was brought out to sing the anthem at a Lions game, and the best description of it afterward was on Twitter, when said, I had an imagined conversation between the producers and Aretha. She said, Aretha, we would like you to sing the national anthem. Aretha, I'm going to take them to church. Producer, well, Aretha, that's not really what we church. So I don't even know if that's the one that I'm thinking of. The original one was Aretha at a piano. She had an accompaniment, someone accompany her.
Yes.
On like a Hammond B3, and it's just the two of them. And if I tell you it went on for 5 minutes, I might be underselling it. It was like a long piano intro. It was an organ intro, and it just went on and on and on and didn't stop. But she's a queen of soul. What do you
you let her take a little license. She
Yeah.
didn't totally veer away from it.
They probably thought the same thing about Martha Reeves, and that's what happened. All right, John, who else?
You like the Black Eyed Peas? You like the Black Eyed Peas?
I mean, this
Do you?
belongs in a category on its own.
Fergie,
NBA All-Star.
Correct.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star spangled banner yet wave?
Yeah.
And the players just laughing. They can't hold it in.
I know.
For the land of the free.
Yeah.
Let's call it a day.
Kind of like a Billie Holiday's sexy type of anthem take.
Right.
The one that I am not familiar with off the top of my head. Who is this Andress person? Is this the Ingrid Andress?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is Ingrid Andress?
I have no idea.
We don't know who she is.
No.
Grammy-nominated American singer-songwriter who blends country and pop.
Of course.
Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air.
What event was this?
Kind of trying to do the Alanis Morissette yodel. She's trying to make her voice crack on purpose. I'm giving Ingrid the benefit of the doubt.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
So that was at the Home Run Derby, I believe, a few years ago. And then after the performance, she said that she was drunk. And then
she said she was drunk?
And she went into like rehab or something.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my God.
Now, believe it or not, Paul McCartney is on this list.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Well, he's British.
Oh, that one number one.
Of course.
By the dawn's early light.
This
Sound
is Paul
like Paul
McCartney?
McCartney?
It's not Paul
This
McCartney.
is Jesse McCartney.
Jesse McCartney.
Jesse McCartney. Okay. Thank you.
My mistake, Ryan.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
I mean, this isn't bad.
All the ramparts we watched.
I mean, it's boring, but I can't put it on the same level as Fergie.
No.
There was a Steven Tyler. There have been Steven Tyler anthems, including one at Gillette Stadium.
And the rockets struck down as bomb bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
All right, a little flub on the words.
That
but
wasn't bad.
Not even that
There's
bad.
a difference
That
between
wasn't
bad
bad.
singing and screwing up the words.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to talk about screwing up the words? The worst one I ever saw in person, I was at a Red Sox game a long time ago, and it must have been before they won their first championship. I was there on a night when Michael Bolton was singing the anthem, and he's a good singer, but he forgot midway through the words. And I saw that's actually on the list. It's the echo that I remember. the best part of the whole thing was he had to look into the palm of his hand. He had the lyrics scribbled down into the palm of his hand, and he hesitated and looked down, and we're like, he has no idea what the words are. This is like when Michael Bolton was really popular, too.
What do you mean was?
I believe this is on the list.
Yeah.
We were laughing 3/4 of the way through. Oh, my God, I can't believe that made the list. I was there for that.
So, I mean, the obvious ones are in there, but there's one more, the Hilson anthem, as it has been remembered in history. Carrie Hilson. This was at a Lakers game. Apparently, she, messed it up.
What's so proud of me? Oh, the brown we were. We're so glad these
Yeah, she brought it back. I mean, it's like, this is tough.
This isn't a song that they just made up like last week. This is a song that has had the same lyrics now for 200 years.
Why don't you sing it for us, John?
I can't. I don't have nearly the voice to do it.
Who wrote
You're
it?
the singer.
Who wrote it?
Francis Scott Key.
All right, there we go. Well done.
Mess with me.
All right. Well, congratulations to the Women's Professional Baseball League and the inaugural game over the weekend.
Going to any Boston games?
When do they play the home games?
There are no home games.
Oh, there aren't?
They're playing at a 5,200 seat stadium in Springfield, Illinois.
So we're going right back
with
to the
teams
roots.
from, I put that in quotation marks, New York, Boston, San Francisco, and LA are the 4 teams. And they are playing every game this season in some neutral park in Springfield, Illinois.
The Boston team is playing in Springfield, Illinois.
Every team is playing in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
There are 4 teams. They are playing every game of the season in Springfield, Illinois.
Okay.
Sponsored
It's
by
not even like a barnstorming thing.
Sponsored by the Harvey Bar Company.
What's the seating capacity? I wonder.
5,200.
Okay.
They'll do all right.
That's not bad.
Will they?
Sure.
You ever been anywhere close to Springfield, Illinois? It's not a lot out there.
Oh, really?
Not a lot out there.
Okay.
Trade deadline day. We're going to be talking with Tim Britton coming up a little bit, but we'll get back into the Red Sox here in a moment here on Toucher and Hardy. On the emergency edition of the Breaking Balls podcast.
And what better evidence is there for the owners as they go into the CBA or CBA discussions and negotiations, be able to say to the entire country and get the support of fan bases and just about every market in America than to be able to say, hey, look at the trade deadline, look at the last 3 years. What more do we need to tell you than the game needs fixing? So I'm telling you, I think on some level in MLB, they are doing cartwheels about this. Conspiracy theories, again, collusion, call it whatever you want. I think there's a large majority in owners that are thrilled that the Dodgers got Skubal because they want to prove that they need a salary cap. And let there be no doubt, what the owners are concerned about is the business of baseball. Whoever gets the trophy at the end of the year doesn't concern them as much as all of their ability to be able to cash in, their collective ability to be able to cash in and be able to control the game more than the players. That's what they want.
Okay, so 2 things here. We've talked about this in regard to Super Bowl champions, where the owners get together at their owners' meetings, and do you brag about the Super Bowl that you just won? Maybe. But you also brag about the amount of money that you spent and the amount of wins that you got for that amount of money. It's one thing to go out there and spend enough money to have a winning team. But if you can spend less than the other guys did and also win or even come close to winning.
Well, it doesn't matter. The Dodgers aren't part of that conversation.
But for the billionaires, that's awesome. This is why, though, when you talk about collusion, You talk about all these other owners getting together because Ryan brought up the point earlier. Like, well, with the money that's, Scooble's owed this year, a lot of teams could have done it. The Rays have a deep farm system. They, thought they had a pretty good offer put together. What if all the owners got together and said, hey, at the end of the day, yeah, we all like to win a World Series, but we don't want to keep spending this much money. We're certainly not going to spend as much as the Dodgers are. So how about we all just let the Dodgers have them? Because this will be the best thing to put forward when you're trying to appeal to the sports audience, you're trying to appeal to Major League Baseball in general and say, look, this is why we need the salary cap. Look what the Dodgers are doing. They're just spending all the money and they're getting all the players and we can't have this anymore. So as a means to that end, they all conspire to say, yeah, let them have them because it's going to be proving our point.
I think the point was proven long before this. This is kind of, if what you're saying is true and the conspiracy theory that Maz brought up is true, that's more like an exclamation point at the end of the sentence. It's not, oh, see, this is how we prove it. It's been proven forever. The Dodgers are spending twice as much as the next closest competitor. There are a lot of...
Does this help them win also?
Of course it does.
All right, so that again, yeah, I think the point has been proven also, but if they fall short, then maybe not so much. This, if they go on to win the whole thing, then as an owner, when you're appealing to Major League Baseball and even the players in your negotiation saying like, hey, it's not going to be competitive. Look, they just went out, they spent the most money. They just got Scooble a couple of months ago, and they ended up winning the World Series in part because of that. We got to change this, guys.
Well, okay, but under that level of thinking, it requires the Dodgers to win the World Series. Which obviously they are the favorites right now, but the favorite oftentimes does not win.
Correct, but this helps them to that end. If you're going to go down the conspiracy theory route and say that the owners are colluding and they got together and said, yeah, let the Dodgers have them, that's part of the calculus. Yeah, because if they do this, then they're more likely to win.
Well, also this, it's not as much a year-to-year salary cap issue as it's made out to be. The Dodgers have a $1.1 billion in future deferred earnings for all of these players. Like they're playing with Shohei Ohtani's like $600 million. He gets paid into the future. Like
Mookie,
almost every guy there is a Bobby Bonilla type contract where they're going to get paid long after they're. Just do away with that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a hard cap in that league if you just do away with that and say, listen, you can spend as much as you want, but you got to pay it in real time.
Yeah.
No putting it off for future owners to pay.
And also, have the NHL constraints. Who is it? Kovalchuk that they tried to sign a 15-year deal.
Right.
Well, and the NHL just within the last couple of years made some tweaks to exactly that. I think it was Frank Vetrano, the former Bruin, signed a contract where he's basically getting like $900,000 for the next like 20 years. To save money because he wants to get paid after he gets out of California, save the state income taxes and all that. The NHL, under the new collective bargaining agreement, said you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and Kovalchuk's deal, I think he was making...
It was like $100,000 the last 4 years of the contract.
Yeah,
it was like a 17-year deal.
Like $200,000 a year for the last 3 years of the deal.
Yeah.
I just want to know so if you're going to set a salary cap, where are you going to set it, number one? Number two, where are you setting the floor? Because if it's ever going to happen, the Players Association is going to demand, well, there's got to be a minimum spend. You can't have a team spending $30 million to put a 26-man roster out there. It's like if we're going to get to a cap, where's the floor?
And the other part of it, specifically about 2 nights ago when the Dodgers got Scooble and kind of connecting it to the so-called conspiracy theory. Yeah, the Dodgers were already the favorites, and Scooble certainly puts them over the top. But like you said, Hardy, sometimes the more talented team doesn't necessarily win. And if Tampa Bay got Scooble and they have a farm system to match LA's, if somehow they made the World Series again and played the Dodgers, I'd give them a fair shot of Scooble starting game 1 and game 5. I would give them a chance to beat the Dodgers. So I think the window is very small sometimes for teams like this, especially Tampa, to win anything, cap or no cap. So I don't buy it. I think there's, for some reason, no one else stepped up and gave enough for the rental. And Tampa spending $9 million for the rest of the year is crap. They can afford that.
So this
for
is
the last 3 months.
The floor has to be a part of the conversation from the players' perspective. And of course, the players are dead set against a salary cap in general. But the proposed floor from one of the side, it's got to be from the players' side, and people who are trying to figure out how this would work. The cap is somewhere around $280 million, I think. The floor would be $170 million. So who's going to have a problem with that? Marlins, you know what they're spending this year?
About 30?
No, $82 million.
Oh, I thought it was a lot less than that.
82. So they've got it more than double their.
Yes.
Cleveland, 85. The Rays, 111.
Yeah.
Cardinals also 111. Nationals, 117. White Sox 123.
If you're a mediocre starting pitcher, think of the windfall you're about to get.
Yeah.
Twins 130. Pirates 135. Rockies 138. You have to go all the way up to about the midway point. The Reds are at $150 million. Not until you get to the Royals, the 18th biggest spending team in baseball with $186 million, do you eclipse the salary floor. So there are at least 12 teams below them that don't spend up to the proposed floor.
And on the other side, you have all of those players that the Dodgers are playing. I mean, you got to figure at least half or 3/4 of them are going to get sold off. And imagine you're one of those lower teams that has to spend the money on the contract that the Dodgers signed those guys to. I mean, I can't wait to see the free-for-all. And from what I understand, Dodgers ownership is on board with a cap too at this point. But at the same time, you're going to have to get rid of 4, 5, 6 guys off this Dodgers roster to get underneath the salary cap if that's what they implement. I mean, it's going to be a free-for-all for Dodgers players anyway. So look. There's going to be a lockout. It's going to be December 1st. The second December 1st hits, and this is going to be a while. But when it happens, when they finally have baseball again, whenever it is, massive changes to the game. Can't wait to see kind of how it shakes out.
Apparently, it is the owners in that first proposal that came up with the $171.2 million hard salary floor, which there's got to be. I mean, not every team below it. You can figure out a way to spend another 20, 30 million, I'm sure. But for the Marlins, the Guardians, and the Nationals, we're spending half that right now. Yeah, their hands weren't raised for that. Well, we're going to spend how much more? We're going to spend twice what we're spending
How do you even do it? Like, there aren't enough players that are worth that amount unless here's the other thing. Are you going to walk in on day one and tell the Dodgers they have to trade like 3/4 of their roster?
Yeah, that's kind of what Wallach was just saying.
What I'm saying, yes.
You don't have enough players currently on any of those teams worth that amount of money. But if the Dodgers and the Mets have to start getting rid of players,
you got some guy who's making $2.5 million. You got to walk in and offer him 10 a year just to make the floor.
Yes. Actually, that's what's going to happen, which is why the owners think the players should take this. But the other part of it is
75% of the players are actually going to make out with that.
The other part of this is even the Dodgers, who print money. I mean, there has to be a breaking point. If you take a look at all the players that they're paying right now, regardless of the deferred money, I think even the Dodgers ownership looks and goes, okay, this is getting insane. There's a point now where we're not going to profit nearly as much as we need to be solvent. I would imagine that's why Dodgers ownership is on board with this.
Right.
Because and you know what?
They know it's
Cohen did the same thing. Cohen finally spent, $300 million. His team didn't win and went, F this, and started selling off.
All right.
It's not sustainable.
So Dodgers ownership paid $2.15 billion for their team back in 2012.
Yep.
It is currently valued at about $9 billion.
Mm-hmm.
$1.1 billion in future payments doesn't matter. They've already made 7 times that in profit.
but it's the money you have. I by no means.
And by the time if they sell it 10 years from now, it'll be worth $20 billion.
But they're also first of all,
you have to worry about the money you have now, not the future. You know what I'm saying?
At some point, the prices for all these major league sports teams, whether it's you're talking about NFL teams, NBA teams, you're going to reach a tipping point. And especially as the investment guys, get in and start buying more teams, they're going to say, wait a second, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
There will always be sucker private equity guys who want a piece of it.
I don't know. Once you get that many guys, there's not that many fans. And when it's their money and they have investors' money at stake, they've got a responsibility, not only to themselves, but the people putting their money in, saying, yeah, we'd all like to have a team, but you can do better in the market. You can just do better buying some kind of regular fund,
Yeah, but there's no
put it in
prestige
BlackRock. But you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that these people are worth that are investing in it, and they can get prestige in other ways. I'll say this too, just quickly. When you're talking about the 75% of players that would actually do well in this and should vote for it, what percentage of those guys believe they're really in that group? Or how many of them believe it's like, oh no, I'm good enough to where I can be making $40 million a year. I can make $50 million a year. I'm just untapped potential, ready to pop here. So you have to convince those guys, no, you're just one of the great majority that's just a good ball player, and you're not going to be a superstar, and you're not going to make superstar money, so you should take this now. Just in order to be a professional athlete, you have to have some part of you that believes you're much, much better than you are and will continue to get better, and you will be worth that money someday. All right, we'll step aside here. Who do we have? With Tim Britton coming on at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Talk more trade deadline here on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on. John is pointing at himself. What, John?
We know there are a lot of people listening to us that have plans to go to Patriots training camp today. Workouts at 10:15. It's supposed to be outside.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of heavy rain on the way, so I checked with Mike Reese. As of right now, the plan is still to practice outside.
Name dropper.
If you want to go and risk it, they are still planning on being outside as of right this second, and the practice is a little over an hour away.
Today's the day to go.
Yeah, I know.
Put your slicker on, grab your rubbers.
I know, but there are people who still go, so admission is free. It is open to the public. As of right now, the plan remains to practice outside. That is subject to change, of course.
Your kids care about training camp, John?
They haven't in any year, and I was just talking to them on Saturday, and this year they're interested.
Oh.
So we're going to try and go this week or early next. So we're going to try and get out there. Although I think they have two practices close to the public this week. I think Wednesday and Thursday they're closed, but we'll try and get them there tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, I mean, time running out. Let's go.
I know. They had never expressed an interest in it before. I'd asked them like 4 years in a row, and there was nothing, so I didn't ask them this year. And this is the year they're like, Dad, can we go?
I think it was last year when my son and I went, and he's been down there before. And I think last year was the year we got Weird Dan Roach, where we were down there watching with, just the rest of the reporters and scribes and beat guys. And I kind of turn and I see that my son is standing just a few feet away from me, but engaged in conversation with Dan Roach.
Oh.
And I could tell Dan was doing his like oddly intense thing. And he was, I think he was mostly telling my son what a horrible person I was. And
that's not true.
It was true.
He never speaks ill of anyone.
Yeah. It went on for a while, and I'm like, whatever. They're having fun. And Calvin enjoyed it because it was somebody speaking ill of me.
Right.
Your kids love it when somebody takes you down a peg or two.
Yes.
But it went on for what I felt was an inappropriate amount of time.
Well, it might have seemed longer to you than it actually was.
Yeah, it's a pretty long time.
Okay, like 5 minutes long, or
Yeah.
yeah.
That's more. That's more than just your casual. Hey, how are you? Oh, I know your dad. It was like no, there were stories being told.
Boy,
I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
But then you take them up to the blue level. You go up there and visit, Uncle Scott and Uncle Mark up there broadcasting from the platform high above the practice field. That's
Sure.
always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Kid, come here. You want these crumbs off the table?
Yeah. Oh man, there'll be people out there today.
There will be. There are people that are, in Worcester or whatever, getting in their cars. They're like, is it still on? Yep. At the moment, still on. However, if you're in Worcester, you understand how hard it's raining right now. So it's on its way, apparently.
All right, so I believe I haven't checked in. I believe my wife and daughter are going. Where are they going? Somewhere today, just a day trip.
Oh.
I'm glad Fred's not here because I think they're going to Nantucket today. And I told them, I said, it's going to rain all day. Yeah, it's already planned though. We're already doing it.
Sure.
Well, it's not like you're planning to go to Paris. It's just go a different day. Do it. I mean, the drive down to the ferry. The ferry
We doing
ride
Woods
across.
Hole? We taking Hyannis? What are we doing here?
I don't know.
All right.
But the entire time you're there, it's going to rain. It's going to rain all day. I think they already left or they're leaving soon.
What are they doing when they get there?
I don't. That's my question with anything that my wife wants to do. What happens when we get there? I want to go do this. I want to go do that. Fine. What happens when we
wander
get there?
around in the rain?
Right. Which is why they don't even ask me to go. There's not even a consideration.
Go figure.
Right. It's a legitimate question, though. Ryan just asked it.
Right.
What do you do when you get there? What happens when we
How
get
are we
there?
filling the day?
Right. We're going to walk around.
I can't imagine why.
Where?
Walk around,
Why?
do
What?
dual shopping, whatever. That's fine. But it's like you
All
realize you're
day?
going to be doing that in the rain. You bringing a slicker?
Of all the things I've said this morning, that's the thing that pissed you off.
Because I think I have an excellent
what I'm
point.
laughing at.
That's the question. What happens when we get there?
Okay.
She wants to go see the redwoods. Fine. What happens when we get there?
I remember that conversation. That's dumb. We go visit trees. That's a dumb thing.
Look at the trees. I got a ton of emails about
right.
people like making a whole week or weekend of it. It's like, you go to wine country. It's like, well, I don't drink, so I don't care. I want to go look at, stuff. I don't want to go to the wineries and vineyards. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Look at the trees and then go home? Well, no.
Because the trees aren't close to anything.
Right.
It's a
Just more
significant
trees.
drive to go see the redwoods.
Let's talk about a hot button issue here. Trees.
Okay.
By the way, have you seen the video of there was another bison incident?
No.
We don't have time. We're right up against
The
it.
bison chasing a child through
Save it.
Yellowstone.
Save it, please, because I want to view
Use
it.
that for the stack. Get some sound beaten.
Tim Britton joins us next on Toucher and Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, mate.
When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
I think that there is a feeling on the part of upper management and ownership that it's time to go for it. No more kicking the can down the road and talking about sustainability. And we're going to have guys coming along in the next couple of years to make us contenders every year. I think there is a focus on trying to win now.
It is Toucher and Hardy, and Tim Britton is a senior writer at The Athletic, where he covers Major League Baseball, specifically the New York Mets, but all things trade deadline. Tim, thanks for being on the show. How are you this morning?
Oh, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here as the trade deadline is looming here, 6 p.m. today. Was it the least surprising thing in the world when the Dodgers got Skubal?
Pretty much. I mean, the only surprising thing was that it happened earlier and didn't happen on Monday at 5:59 p.m. Eastern time. We're used to that being kind of the Dodgers play, where they waited out and no one comes up with the kind of offer that the trading team wants, and LA swoops in and grabs the guy at the last minute. So that it happened earlier on Saturday night was the only real surprise. That the Dodgers ended up with him, outbidding whatever a team like Tampa Bay or Milwaukee was willing to give was not a surprise at all.
Well, it was. I think the return was very surprising. It didn't seem like the Dodgers gave up all that much, relatively speaking, and the Rays have as good a farm system as the Dodgers do, yet they didn't come across to rent him for a couple of months. Why do you think that was?
I think the big difference is like the Dodgers can afford to trade away their top prospects, and even if those guys succeed elsewhere, they can backfill. They make a lot of good trades to acquire prospects. The two guys who headlined that trade, Zaire Hope and River Ryan, were guys that they traded for. They're not guys they drafted and developed. They traded for them and then brought them up to be top 100 prospects. So Tampa Bay, less capable of doing that kind of part of the calculus. And if, they trade away a Theo Gillen or someone like that from their system who really excels, that's a bigger loss for them than it is for LA. But I think the return here really comes down to how you feel about River Ryan, the pitcher. He's only got, I think, like 220 professional innings, and he's older than Juan Soto. He turns 28 soon before next year. But there are a lot of people in the sport who think this is a guy who can be a number one, number two starter down the line, and maybe can fill into that Detroit rotation as soon as he's back from a hamstring injury, and be a useful piece for them alongside whenever Jackson Jobe comes back for them. Maybe they hold on to Casey Mize. They try to make a run for it this year, but reload for next year and be ready to contend again in the AL Central. So that if you like Ryan as a pitcher, if you think that's his upside, well, then this is a good return. If you're questioning why you're trading for a guy who's that old and still in the minor leagues with that little experience, then yeah, it's a little light.
Does this clinch the World Series for the Dodgers?
No, I think it's as inevitable as the Dodgers have felt over the last few years. It's important to remember how close they've been to being knocked out. Like in 2024, in the division series against the Padres, they were throwing a bullpen game in an elimination game in Game 4 of that series. And if they lose that, that's 3 straight years they're out in the division series. They come back to win with their own bullpen performing great. And go on to win the World Series. And then last year, obviously, Toronto had them down 3-2, had them down in Game 7. And that was with kind of LA being healthy at the right time. When you have Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow and guys like that, if they can afford to slow play it in the regular season, they're not as worried about going all out to make the playoffs. They're going to get there anyway. But you still need those guys to be healthy at the right time. And I think the trading for Skubal is a recognition that they might not be, especially with Ohtani now having that knee issue that's kept him off the mound. So they still need some group of their starters to be healthy and performing at the right time. And we'll see if that happens for them in October. If they're healthy, if you're taking everyone at their best, yeah, they're far and away the best team, but they still have to get there.
Would it have made more sense for the Rays to make that move? I mean, it seems like they could have. They have enough to where they could have matched the offer. And especially coming out of the American League, where it seems to be anyone for the taking right now, would it have put them in a position that would have made them the prohibitive favorites?
I mean, I think you can make a strong case for Tampa Bay and Milwaukee making that move because they're both in kind of similar spots. Milwaukee has been really good the last several years. Finally won a playoff series for the first time in a while last year. And then gets kind of run over in the NLCS by the Dodgers. And if you bring Skubal into that rotation, that's lost a couple guys lately, but still has Jacob Mizorowski at the top. That's a really good 1-2 that can do something in a 7-game series if you meet LA in the NLCS again. And with Tampa Bay, you're right. Like the way the American League is structured this year, where it is wide open, and the Yankees seem a little bit more vulnerable than we would have thought just a couple weeks ago with the injuries that they have. Tampa Bay brings Skubal in to the top of that rotation with Rasmussen. Maybe Shane McClanahan should be back by October. Then that looks like a real the pennant favorite, the prohibitive favorite to win the pennant in the American League in a way that they don't right now. And those two teams have the 3 top farm systems in baseball were LA, Tampa Bay, and Milwaukee. They had the pieces to do that if they wanted to. But they just weren't willing to make the kind of sacrifice of top 100 guys that the Dodgers are routinely willing to do because they feel that they can just get those guys again.
So as far as the Red Sox are concerned, they're on a run that they've almost never been on before. You worked here. You know what the climate's like when they play poorly. They were playing poorly for a while. Now they're the hottest team in baseball by far. And you had the Yankees get a bat yesterday. You had Tampa Bay get an arm yesterday. The pressure is on Craig Breslow to do something today. What do you think he will do?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of noise around the Red Sox and a shortstop. I heard the clip you played of Sean McAdam before me, that this is the sense that they're trying to capitalize on this opportunity. It reminds me a little bit of where the Mets were in 2024. Where they had a brutal start to the year and just kind of turned it around at the start of June. It's a little later in the season for the Red Sox to turn it around, but they're also at a different place competitively than the Mets were at that time, and a kind of position where they can be a bit more aggressive with some of the prospects that they have. Some of the guys, the younger major leaguers who haven't quite established themselves in the big leagues yet. So I think what I'm looking for is just how big a swing do they take at a guy like Zach Neto in Anaheim, or we've heard them even trying to pry Ellie De La Cruz from Cincinnati. I don't think that's going to happen, but they are thinking bigger in a way that they have not been in recent trade deadlines, even when they've been in relatively similar situations competitively in the standings. So that I think if you're looking at what teams are the most intriguing to watch today, I think the Red Sox among buyers might be the most intriguing to see just how aggressive they do get to supplement this roster.
Yeah, standings wise, of course, they've been in similar situations, but it's the trajectory of the team that has to complicate matters for the front office. I mean, they look at it and say, well, it would almost be derelict of duty to not do something to help them based on the way that they've been playing. But, Tim, is it sustainable? I mean, I think the easy answer is no. You can't expect them to continue at this pace.
But it's 5 weeks now.
But it's 5 weeks. So what do you do? What should they do? What approach do you think they should take, and what ultimately will they take before 6 o'clock today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, the context is important here. Is Anthony Siegler going to be this player the rest of the year? Is Andrew Monasterio going to be this player the rest of the year? Probably not. They've got track records that suggest they're maybe a little out over their skis. But you've also got, Roman Anthony potentially coming back at some point this year. You've got Garrett Crochet potentially coming back later in the year or into October if you get there. So I think that gives you a little bit more confidence that even if there is the kind of expected regression at some point on the roster, that you've got supplements coming within, and then you try to do something at this deadline. And then there's what we talked about with the American, is that it is really wide open. It's if you're in the National League and you're sitting fourth or fifth, and you've got the Dodgers and the Brewers and the Braves ahead of you, and you're looking at a first-round wild card matchup against like the Cubs or the Phillies, well, yeah, that's not an easy draw. But if you're the Red Sox in the AL, and you might end up playing Yankees in the first round, the way things are shaking out right now. But beyond that, it's just really the AL East that you think of as contenders for making it to the World Series. That you feel decent about your chances of coming out of there if you make the right moves today.
Tim, I'm wondering, as far as you know, what Craig Breslow's reputation is around Major League Baseball. He couldn't have had a worse trade deadline last year. He acquired players at the last minute that made this team actively worse. I mean, Jordan Hicks was terrible. Dustin May was terrible. They both sabotaged, what was left of the season by just being out there. And it looked like he panicked to get those guys, too. Do you think he is capable of making the correct moves today? And how do other teams see him?
I think the team is generally pretty cautious, and that's been the way he has acted to this point. I mean, I do think there are people who look at like the Crochet trade in the offseason and thought that was a nice trade for the Red Sox at the time, and clearly played out really well for them in 2025, less so this year because of the injury. But I think he's not one of the guys that everyone knows exactly how he values every player. That there are some disparities between how maybe the industry overall sees a specific player and how Breslow values them. And so, that gives you an opportunity to line up maybe a little bit more easily than you would otherwise if there is that gap between how two different front offices value someone. So I think there's that, and maybe that plays into a bigger move today. But I think it's not like dealing with the Rays or dealing with the Brewers or dealing with these teams where every time you're making a trade with them, you're like, well, why did they like that guy? I'm not quite sure what it is about it at this point.
Any other teams? You mentioned a couple, but any one else that you're looking at today that could be making some kind of a big move?
I mean, I think from the selling side, the kind of inverse of the Red Sox would be the Angels, just because they've got three guys in Neto, in Jose Soriano, and in Reed Detmers who have team control and who are really good players. That we haven't seen Anaheim move those kinds of players in years past. They've been very, very deliberate at the deadline, but they look, under an interim GM and John Mozeliak, they look like they're operating a little bit differently this year. And those three guys can really shift the narrative of the rest of the season. And then as always, it's San Diego and AJ Preller, team that looked a week ago like maybe they'll trade Mason Miller. They'll certainly trade Adrian Morejon. Those two guys could be the best relievers on the market, and instead they've won 8 of 9, and they're right there. A game out of the playoffs, and the last team is Seattle, a team that I've expected to kind of jump, to kind of put it all together at some point, but we've been waiting for that for 4 months. They've lost 8 of their last 11. They're now, I think, only a half game ahead of the Tigers, who sold Skubal.
Mm-hmm.
Do they decide to try to get another bat in there and try to get another reliever, or do they decide this isn't the roster this year? Let's trade a George Kirby or an Emerson Hancock, one of those controllable pitchers who could really make an impact somewhere else.
All right. Tim, appreciate the time as always. Busy day for you, I know. Senior writer at The Athletic, covering Major League Baseball. That happy trade deadline day, if that's a thing. I don't know.
I'm very excited for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Tim, appreciate the time. Thank you.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right, there we go.
Couple of things. First of all, we didn't bring this up with Tim, but it bears repeating what Craig Breslow said last week about him now no longer worrying about winning trades, just making trades to improve the ball club. This is an excellent opportunity for you to prove it. Maybe it's another overpay like you did with Meade. Maybe it isn't, but now you have no excuses not to make a trade. You can't come in at 6:45 when you speak to the media and say, well, the price was too rich for us. There's no excuse for that anymore. The prices were way too high. So what? You just overspent to get Curtis Meade in here. That's no longer an excuse for you.
You said that you weren't interested in winning the deal. You were interested in improving the team.
I mean,
and since then, since he said that, John, how many games have they won?
All of them. 6? All of them.
Yes.
So I mean, you have no excuse left. This team is screaming for help, because the American League is so wide open, and now you've made a trade that people, myself included, actually understood, unlike last year at this time. So there's no excuse. You need to make a deal or two to help yourself in a wide open American League. And one other note before we go to break, we were talking about how the Patriots still plan on practicing outdoors regardless of the weather. Ryan had it in the update, but it bears repeating. If you were thinking about getting in your car regardless of the weather, they have moved today's training camp practice inside, so it is now closed to the public. Do not get in your cars and go to Foxborough.
All right, there
we
you
should
go.
have like a drawing and allow like 10 people to go inside and stand next to Dan Roach. And
that's not a bad idea, especially the Roachy part.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. That's a very good idea, Ryan.
Oh, I got a text from Sarge a little while ago.
What did that say?
Name dropper.
Is it the Sarge GPT or the actual Sarge?
Oh, well.
You got Wallach texting Mike Reese this morning. Hardy's getting texts from Sarge.
But we got to fire up Sarge GPT to answer some of these questions.
GPT is booting up.
Can I ask you?
You've got Sarge.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Sarge, is there practice today for the Patriots outdoors?
No.
Thank you, Sarge.
Sarge GPT signing off.
That was fantastic. All Sarge bits should be exactly like that. Yes. So what did Mike Sarge Riley text you exactly?
Well, he said, I just heard Wallach's update. That's Brian Johnston.
My God. All right.
Thanks, Sarge. Good to talk to you again.
But the update practice is not open to the public due to the rain. Back at it tomorrow. Gates at 9:15, practice at 10:15.
Wait a minute. He had it in the update that they was inside.
But I think he heard you saying right before we went to the break. And then the following update.
Because they had not yet announced it.
No. They announced it at like 9:03.
Correctamundo.
Wait a minute. We just booted you down. What's going on here?
Like Roman Reigns once said, I am this show. I run this show. Acknowledge me.
We just did.
Well,
yeah.
You guys read the big write-up in the Herald about Sarge?
Yes. Sarge is moving and grooving these days.
No charge from the Sarge.
Well,
GPT.
Unless you want a personal appearance. Then there's big charge.
Sarge GPT signing off.
Okay.
I was thinking about Sarge over the week. I was watching some of SummerSlam.
Oh,
It was over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they were showing a video of like the SummerSlam experience, which is like the Minneapolis Convention Center, and the merch that they had on sale. Some of those championship belts were going for like $900.
Whoa.
Jimmy Stewart is selling off a bunch of his collection right
yeah.
now, and they are worth. Some of them, one of them he said was worth like $5,000 because of who signed it and where he got it from. So
Yeah, these were not autographed or anything. These were just the belt. $900.
All right, let's get to our award-winning email bit. We'll do that next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Poo platter for.
Or visit GottaGetGlassman.com.
We did a segment earlier in the show about worst national anthems before sporting events of all time.
Yes.
Dave emailed us. Am I the 8th emailer to say Enrico Palazzo? Do I get the Supertramp tickets?
Oh. He was fine, though, I thought. He
Nick.
did it his own way.
Bunch of bombs in the air.
That's right.
Christopher said, nobody complained when the Yankees and Red Sox consistently had the top payrolls in the league and consistently engaged in ruthless combat for the AL title. Why is the Red Sox payroll now $12 million less than it was in 2016 while ticket and beer prices are 100% more? First of all, yes, people complain. People constantly complain that the Yankees and Red Sox were outspending everyone else.
The Red Sox used to complain.
About the Yankees.
About the Yankees, the evil empire.
That's right. That was Lucchino's favorite. That's right.
But don't get this mixed up. It's not like the fans that are complaining. It's the owners that want this. The owners want it.
Yeah.
You said, Christopher says, nothing is broken. As you point out, the Mets spend money and suck. You're just falling into the trap of making up the numbers to place the burden on the players to accept a salary cap. I'll always side with the players. Not to oversimplify it, but nobody tunes in to watch the owners. Down with the owners. At least MLB owners are not as unsavory as NFL owners. Imagine what happens if anyone ever saw those books.
I mean,
at some point there has to be an expectation that any team can win the World Series. You know, you do need some competitive balance. I'm not saying it's not good for sports in general to have a clear-cut favorite. It worked for the NFL for many, many years as the Patriots were dominating. And you could argue it worked for the NBA in the 90s when it was the Bulls. And even more recently when Golden State looked like they were going to win back-to-back. But the NBA isn't suffering, and you've had how many different champions now over the last 8 years, John? 7 out of the last 7?
Yes, 7 out of 7. Yes.
And I think for the health of the sport overall, yes, it is better to have some expectation that any team with the right players playing the right way can win in any given year. Now, that's not to say it's necessarily better for the owners or players one way or the other, but in terms of like the overall health of the sport, yes, I think you can make an argument that is better than having the Dodgers being prohibitive favorites once again just because of the money they're spending. And you're right, it didn't work for the Mets. But it is working for one of the teams that did it.
You look at all of the World Series champions since 2020. Dodgers, Atlanta, Houston, Texas, Dodgers. Everyone that has won since they really became a payroll disparity is in the top 10 in Major League Baseball in spending. Getting close. And by the way, Toronto spent a lot of money too, and they lost in 7 games last year. Philadelphia has been there. The Yankees have been there. I think regardless of whether or not teams have a chance to win, they're not winning. The teams that spend the most are winning. Regardless of how many games it takes. You look at the World Series champions, the Dodgers have won 3 times in the last 6 or 7 years. That's not a mistake. That's not a numbers fluke. So this sport And I understand where those of you who want to back up the players are coming from, but there needs to be a reset. There needs to be a change because everyone knows automatically the Dodgers are going to win the National League at the beginning of the season at this point. So that needs to change. If you really want to question, well, we have no idea who's going to win the World Series this year, you need a cap, whatever that cap is. And there has to be a floor, like you were saying, a cap and a floor to even the playing field a little bit. And most importantly, force teams to spend money on players.
Yes.
Like Miami, like Tampa. I mean, these teams are making money. They're just not spending
That's
it.
the biggest benefit for the fans is that you will have some teams that are forced to spend more than twice what they're spending this year with the proposed.
The other part of it is the Red Sox for years, regardless of how they choose to dress it up all cute, they are now in a situation where they operate business a certain way. And if they win, great. But if they don't, it doesn't matter because they're operating business a certain way to make sure they make profit. So forcing the Red Sox to abide by the same rules as everybody else is a positive, ladies and gentlemen, for this team.
All right, let's test Ryan's memory here on this one. From Dave, who says that the subject line is John Landis POS. Landis is, in fact, a piece of bleep who instructed the helicopter pilot to perform the extremely dangerous maneuver that killed Vic Farrow, Jennifer Jason Lee's Vic Morrow.
Vic
right?
Morrow, yeah.
He said Farrow, but Vic Morrow. Jennifer Jason Lee's father?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And 2 children during the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie. Horrific tragedy, and his son is also a piece of blank. I know anything about John Landis' son.
Okay.
Take care, Dave. So, the helicopter incident takes place in the vignette in Twilight Zone, the movie, where the guy is a racist piece of crap. Vic Morrow is playing this horrible guy who's talking a bunch of trash in a bar. And then he goes outside, and he's immediately thrust into these different scenarios.
And he goes
from
into like
history.
Nazi Germany.
Nazi
he goes
Germany,
into
Vietnam.
yeah.
Okay. So that's one vignette. What are the other ones from Twilight Zone, the movie? Start with the opening sequence. Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, so...
And?
Albert Brooks.
Thank you.
In a car.
Hitchhiker.
Creedence, putting on some Creedence.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. That's number one.
So then we've got, let's see, we got there's the old person's home where they're playing Kick the Can.
Scatman Crothers.
They all become kids again. Yeah. Let's see. We got the kid who can basically control everything around him.
That's right.
And family is afraid of him, so lets him do whatever he wants.
That's right. You're forgetting a big one.
Well, I've gotten to the John Lithgow remake of the William Shatner episode where, it was terror at 30,000 feet or something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
There's a creature on the wing of the plane. Well, then you hit the wrap up where Dan Aykroyd is the ambulance driver at the end. Spoiler alert
for John Lithgow,
and puts on some Creedence and says, "Want to see something really scary?" And call back to the beginning of the movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got them all. It was the vignettes were called Time Out. That is the Vic Morrow one. Kick the Can, which was directed by Steven
Spielberg. Yeah.
Yep. It's a Good Life. That is the remake of the episode with the young boy with godlike powers, and then Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. All right. Very good. You did very well, Ryan. Very impressed.
I've seen that movie quite a few times. There were a lot of movies in the 80s that just were on all the time, and that was one of them.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one 20 times minimum. Hardy, put Wallach back on headlines only. Bird brain, all caps. Karen was on to talk Patriots, and to paraphrase, mentioned Vrabel was asked if he had a rule about not negotiating with the players. Vrabel would not answer it. As soon as Karen hangs up, Wallach mentions Vrabel was asked if he had a rule about negotiating with players. I thought you were just following up.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, sir, you are incorrect.
When talking about the Women's Professional Baseball League, Ryan mentions all games are played in Springfield in a stadium that seats 5,200 people. Wallach immediately asks Ryan, What's the capacity of that stadium?
No, you can bang me for that. That was a mistake. I'll give you that one.
It's Ryan and Lemonster.
Yeah. I don't take ownership of that first one. Second one, yes.
Not Gary Tangway as a movie idea.
Oh. But you have to read it in the voice. Do your best.
Okay, here it is. These days, there's nothing wrong with grabbing the low-hanging fruit. With that said, here's the pitch. Magic Johnson and his Magic 8-Ball star in Moneyball 2, The Reckoning. Writes itself. Gare Bear out. That's not great.
Was playing golf recently and got paired up with a couple of guys who were teachers.
Okay.
I think one was from like Saugus, one was from Everett or something like that. And I think it was these guys. One of them said, natural course of conversation comes up like, oh, so what do you do? Like, when, they just, a lot of people, when you're golfing a lot during the week, just assume you're a teacher.
Yeah.
So it comes up, and, I used to teach. Do you know Gary Tangway? Used to teach his kids.
Used to what?
Used to teach his kids.
Oh, I thought you said teach his class.
No.
I taught his class. Wallach taught his class.
I taught his class. And you know what teaching Gary's class entails? It entails you showing up and speaking for 45 minutes while Gary sits next to you.
Oh, sure.
And then Gary comes in for the wrap-up, and it's over.
Yeah, just bebop.
Nice job, Wallach. They really knocked him dead in there.
Do whatever you want. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
I'm just trying to imagine what the parent-teacher conference is like with Gary Tangway.
Mrs. Lloyd.
Thank you. All right, back to wrap things up with the stack here on Toucher and Hardy after the headlines here.
Sport.
Just discussing with Ryan here briefly the addition of 2 games to the NHL schedule for next year. So we're up to 84 games.
Yes.
To balance out the strange number of teams that they have. And
well, just so you will be able to play every divisional opponent the same number of times. Now.
Right. And when I said to Jaffe when I saw him last week, I'm like, oh man, I didn't. Kind of rings a bell, but that one slipped past my radar. How did I not know?
Are they extending the season, or are they just jamming that amount of games into the same kind of?
No, the
length?
season starts in September now.
Okay.
Regular season will start in the final week of September.
Right. When I said, I don't know how that slipped past me. He said, because you don't care.
Right.
Like, that's right, Billy. I don't care about 84 regular season games of any sport.
Good news is there are only 4 preseason games now.
Right. But I defy you, even as an analyst, tell me you desperately care about all 82, much less 84 games. Ryan, of course, you are the exception.
Game 3 counts the same as game 82. Hardy.
Hey, you can't win it before Thanksgiving, but you can lose it.
Yep.
That's right.
Which I don't know if you can anymore.
I wonder if they have to move.
Weren't the Blues in last place in January?
I wonder if they have to move that deadline up to like the week before Thanksgiving now.
Weren't the Blues in last place the year they beat the Bruins in the
Something
Stanley
like
Cup
that,
final?
yeah.
Bruins, where were they on Thanksgiving last season? They went on a big run, correct?
This past year?
Yeah.
They were okay.
No, I think they were in.
Were they in?
I think they were in.
Okay, I seem to remember them getting really hot in January. Before we get to the news items, we have baseball trades happening. Philly's got a Red Sox target, Luis Arraez, who plays second base for San Francisco. He has been traded from San Francisco to Philadelphia. So you take Luis Arraez off of your boards. Those are your people.
Cross him off.
Cross him off. Ryan pointed this story out. Remember, there was a bison attack. Some poor guy got flipped in the air and wound up in the hospital. Apparently, we have another bison attack.
Well, hold on a second before you start throwing it to the audio.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, this is again at Yellowstone.
Yes.
And this is, well, you can't see it or you can't hear it, John, but there are people on essentially a boardwalk that crosses over what looks like almost like a marshy area. And there's a family of what looks like maybe 5 people or something. And there's a guy, a woman who walks past the bison. It's just kind of, I'd be nowhere near that bison if I were her. But then there's a guy walking with 2 young kids. And so the bison is kind of walking toward the boardwalk a little bit, but doesn't appear to be as agitated as the one who flipped the guy in the air.
But considering what just happened in the very same park, it was all over the news.
Very same park. It looks like it's almost the exact same place.
It's the same bison.
Yeah.
The Bison is not far from the trail where the man and these kids are walking. They have a clear view of this animal.
Yes.
And they continue to walk.
They just keep walking.
Very close to it.
Okay, here we go.
At least she didn't run. That was smart.
Hey, these guys can turn around.
Oh my God, no. Oh, please, please, please. Children. Oh. Okay. Still.
No, you're way too close. Dude, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Go back!
Go back! Go back! Go back! Do not go towards him! Go back!
No.
Go away from him! Move away from him! He just chased him. What are they doing? I can watch that. No, they're not. They're not. They're going up. Okay. He's on the board. Okay. That's good, too.
Where's the buffalo? Zero instincts.
These people are 150 yards away. They are very safe. The people walking in front are like, what, 10 yards from this thing?
The kid runs off and leaves his father and siblings to die, which I applaud that kid.
You don't have to be fast. You just have to be faster than the people you're with.
Where's the buffalo? Zero.
Yeah, it's a buffalo. It reminds
The
me.
one that got me is the lady. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. All right, well done, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Fred will be back tomorrow, flying back from Maine.
Will he?
Well,
it's a long trip.
He's got 2 layovers from Bangor to Boston. I think he's got to go to LaGuardia, and then he has to go to Charlotte, and then he makes it back to Logan.
Who flies to Maine?
But at least the weather's good. There's no chance the flight's being canceled or anything.
I thought it was an okay decision at first. Then we looked up the actual drive time this morning: 3 hours 47 minutes.
Yeah,
from here to where it was.
It's
going.
more than 4 hours with the connection in LaGuardia to get to. To Maine. Like, you could have driven it faster.
It's tough to justify it. All right, well, let's read about it tomorrow here on Toucher and Hardy. Thank you. Bye.